You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the BLEAV Network and sponsored by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate game day experiences, stadium tours, facility tours, game tickets, tailgating. We have it all. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code WorldsTeam2025. We still need to get that updated once I said that. It will get updated, but yeah. A lot of things have been happening with the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, there's been the Pro Bowl, scouts have been going to the Senior Bowl, but breaking news has happened, and I'm going to play this right now, Mike. The Dallas Cowboys are going to Rio de Janeiro for the first time. And I'm absolutely excited for this, for Cowboys Nation in Germany, man. I mean, I had to play the music. I had to play it. But
it's a classic. It's a classic.
It's a classic. We might get a copyright strike on this. Frankly, I don't care, but I'm excited, man. But yes, the Dallas Cowboys are going to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And big shout out to our friends in Brazil from Finesis at Blue Star Brazil. Yep. So, but yes, guys, and we've already had our good friends from One Star One Family getting in touch, asking me, "Are you planning on going?" And I was like, I really want to. If I had the money, I would. But and obviously, I'm going to the World Cup for Scotland, so that's my funds for this year basically occupied. But yes, the Dallas Cowboys are going to Brazil during the NFL regular season.
First NFL game in Brazil. And
second.
Sorry. But the first time in this stadium. And it'll be the first time that the Dallas Cowboys have left the States to play an American football game since 2014 when they were in London, where we had some great memories.
Yes, the game where we beat Jacksonville in that game where we got to meet our good friends Brian Broaddus and all the Dallas Cowboys media staff. We actually had an absolute ball in 2014, and we helped the media team from Jamie at the UK. It was mostly the UK Cowboys fans group. They really helped organize the bar setup, the fan meetups, everything, and we're going to. Me and Mike, we're going to help Finesis, try and get in contact with the media team and ensure, when you guys are planning going to Brazil, if you are planning, you guys are going to be well looked after in that regard. So, but yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. But I will say though, Mike, I'm really happy, but at the same time, I'm surprised because based on how the marketing agreement by the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys are linked with Mexico, and Mexico was back in the card this year. You would have thought the Cowboys would have been priority number one going to Mexico, and to my surprise as well, the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to be playing the LA Rams in Australia. They're not going to Mexico. So who's hosting the Mexico game? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see who they take, but I think it's a fantastic for Cowboys fans, and not just in the States but in Brazil. We know that there's a large following. We've spoken,
massive following.
We've spoken to the guys in Brazil, and they talk about how much they love the game and the Dallas Cowboys and how much they occupy pretty much the country. So it's going to feel like a home game for Dallas, which is good. And we
100%.
We know South America, with Mexico and the such like that, there is a big Cowboys following, and that's traveled right down the spine of South America, which is great. So it's going to be good to see. It's going to be fun to watch. The only issue is it's going to be a late one for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as I believe, it's only a 3-hour time difference for us in Rio, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad, yeah.
But it depends when they start the game. And
obviously what they do on the scheduling. Yeah.
And with the game being in Brazil, obviously the temperatures during the day can be quite extreme. Like, are they going to hold up
And
to
humid.
a more later time at night, like a 9
Yeah.
p.m. kickoff type of thing? And I mean, there's a lot of factors behind that. So, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But yes, news kind of broke out with ESPN in Brazil kind of like announcing it in a way. I actually had Vinny from Blue Star Brazil contact me, and I was like, nah,
Yeah.
surely not. Like, I didn't believe him at first. I did not believe it. And I'm sorry, Vinny. I am so sorry. I did not believe you. I really had it in my heart that the Cowboys were coming to Mexico, but nope, they're going to Brazil, which is fantastic. So I'm over the moon for you guys. I'm over the moon for Cowboys Nation in Brazil, and not to mention the neighboring countries as well. Like, you don't forget Cowboys Nation in Argentina, Cowboys Nation in likes of Colombia as well. It's a shorter flight for them to go likes to Brazil and attend the game. So really great news, and I know all the super fans are already planning like potential dates, like looking at flights, already planning out. So I just wish I had the funds, and I would definitely go, but it's very unlikely. But yeah,
It was quite funny how the inbox filled up quick as soon as to see if me and you were going. I had them all, and I was like, "Oh God, this is getting a bit wild."
Yeah,
it was maybe two messages in the space of about half hour.
I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning, and my phone was filled with messages about like basically it was sent at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., basically when the announcement happened back here in the UK, which was yesterday about 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I was like, is this like when I saw the graphic, I thought, is this AI?
Yeah.
Like at first, then it was actually on the Dallas Cowboys official page. I was like, holy crap, this is big.
Yeah.
Big. So, but fantastic news. But
and as well, based on what you've seen with like what Brazil are like, they're going to put a party on down there.
Oh, dude, yeah, and that's why I played the samba music there.
Yeah.
I had to play it, dude. I had to play it. But yeah, so really exciting times. There's going to be a lot of announcements from the likes of Vinny at Blue Star Brazil. I'm going to help contact with the Dallas Cowboys media team to be in touch with them and try and make this as an enjoyable experience from what exactly what happened like back in 2014 when the Cowboys came to London. So yeah, but we've got other things to cover as well, Mike. Obviously, regards to the Dallas Cowboys, our defensive coaches are starting to really shape up now.
Yeah, there's been plenty of hirings, which is good to see.
And early. Early.
Yeah. So early, before the draft, before the combine, so they can really solidify a plan on how they want this defense to look.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, let's just run through the list. So obviously, we've talked about Christian Parker, our new defensive coordinator, who came from the Eagles. He's now our defensive coordinator. We've also brought in Marcus Dixon, the defensive lineman coach, coming from the Minnesota Vikings. We've also brought in Ryan Smith as our secondary coach from Arizona. Derek Ainsley, the passing game coordinator, defensive backs coach, coming from the Green Bay Packers. And Chidiria Osadiribe from Georgia, who's our new linebacker coach. Also on the offensive side, we've got Stephen Bravo Brown, the assistant wide receiver coach, coming from Cleveland. So we've made a lot of new additions to really shape up primarily our defense, but we've made some changes in the offense as well. So very interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, the offense, if you go through it, hasn't changed all that much. I mean, there's still time for all that to change. But, like I like I like most of the offensive coaches, like Conor Riley. I mean, he had his hands full this week on the offensive line with what he had to do. And I hold my hands up and say, I think he did a good job. On the defensive side, it needed a clean slate.
Oh, 100%. I think we had to. Like, I think Conor Riley has really done an exceptional job from what he's done. Like, we managed to kind of give Dak Prescott one of his best years as our quarterback. Like, he was almost there for the passing yards record. like obviously faltered behind like some Matt Stafford, etc. So, but yeah, I mean, I think with what he's done as our offensive line coach, I think taking that next step is going to be really significant. Like and we can talk about like the draft and stuff like that. Like, because right tackle is a sneaky need. It is. We can talk about we will be breaking into that in the coming weeks when we're going to be looking at player profiles, etc., which is something you're going to be extremely happy about, Mike, because that's basically all you, my man.
That's all I do.
But yes, what else has been happening? Obviously, we did have the Senior Bowl. We got to see some highlights from certain players. There was the linebacker from Pittsburgh, Kyle. Oh God, what's his surname again? Kyle.
The guy that you really like.
Yes, the guy I really like. Kyle Walker. Is it Kyle Walker?
Yeah. I mean, there was a number of guys that really, I think, in that Senior Bowl, the best way to describe it is you had players who you...
Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis.
Yeah. So there was some guys that you thought, you were looking at it and going, I like these guys a lot. And then they go out in the Senior Bowl, and really what it was more of a proving round. There were a couple of players who you were like, oh, these guys have raised their stock. But mostly across the board, it was a Senior Bowl that kind of like solidified where you are with them.
One in particular being my guy, Jacob Rodriguez.
There you go. Yeah, he raised his bar, definitely. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if we were to pick him at 20, I would not be mad. I would not be mad. I know people were saying, oh, well, he's maybe a third round, second round grade. But then again, we did the same thing with Travis Frederick. And look how that turned out. And I'm just saying, like, you might have your top 100, but other people will have a different order. People will evaluate players completely different. There'll be something from the scouting team from Dallas. We'll see, this guy's actually got something more than we could expect here. Like, he's got more than what people say that he has. Like, and we've seen that time and time again. There's been certain players for other teams that were like, why on earth did they pick him? Like, take Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs and the linebacker that they picked up also. No one expected. They thought those guys were like late. They should have been like late first rounders, early second rounders, and now look, they've been prominently fantastic for the Lions. So I think it just really comes to show, like, if you do your due diligence on the players, it should not matter where you draft them. Like, if they're willing to like meet that standard of where you picked them, because obviously there's been a lot more first round busts than there has successes in recent history. So, but other than that, the Pro Bowl also happened, Mike.
Yeah, it happened.
And I'll be perfectly honest, Mike, it was very lackluster.
Yeah,
I didn't. There was no like when you see a Pro Bowls before and previous, it was like more
entertaining,
eventful. I just feel like it was kind of like behind closed doors, essentially. If that makes sense.
It needs to be back in Hawaii.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It needs to be in Hawaii and make it a bit of fun. You know, that flag thing. I would just. I mean, like, it was funny. I was giggling to myself watching Shedeur Sanders throwing interceptions in flag football. But I mean, like, I think the funniest part for me was when the AFC scored the first time. Micah Parsons came running on to celebrate in a wheelchair.
No, it was a buggy. It was a buggy.
Yeah, like electric thing. Yeah.
But speaking about Micah Parsons at the Pro Bowl, though, there was a really interesting clip of where you see George Pickens getting interviewed, and I think it was either through ESPN or CBS. I can't remember what network it was, but basically they were talking to Pickens saying, do you want to come back to Dallas? He's like, oh, obviously I would. And they're talking about, well, they freed up, obviously they traded away Micah Parsons. There's room for cap potentially. It's like, would that be basically, you know where I'm going with this, but but during that interview, you could see Micah Parsons try to sneak in and listen into the conversation, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like a little bit of a lost puppy in a way, like knowing that, oh, they're talking about my contract, and I wish I was still here. That's kind of what it felt like.
He did say in an interview, I don't know if you've seen the one, where they talked to him about the breakdown in what happened. And Micah Parsons in fairness, was quite mature in one degree, and he was just like, basically, he was like, I don't know why the whole thing, and I'm not going to use the exact word he used because he swore, but basically, he was like, I don't know why the whole thing turned to poop.
Yeah, you can use your imagination what that word would have been. Yeah.
Yeah. But generally, it sounded just like there was a breakdown in whatever happened. That there was a breakdown in the relationship, a breakdown in communication, and then the whole thing just spiraled out of control. I think for most of it, for what people have said based off that particular interview, I don't think the whole thing is purely on Micah Parsons.
No, absolutely not.
You could see.
It takes two people to tango, Mike.
Yeah, not just that. I think it's more of a between Micah and Jerry and Jerry and Micah's agent. And there was just...
Yeah, and who, funny enough, is the same agent that's dealing with Micah Parsons.
George Pickens.
Sorry, no. Yes. Thanks for correcting me. Yes, George Pickens.
I got you.
I'm having a brain fart because obviously I'm hearing all about the news and my body clock's over the place with the news of the Rio de Janeiro game. It's going to be happening. So apologies there. Yeah, I was talking about George Pickens. Same agent, David Mulgeta.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing, if we continue on that conversation, the thing that concerns me with George Pickens isn't even the agent with this one. It's the fact that Pickens has come out and said there's been zero communication. So,
well, there has been a little bit of development during the awards ceremony. I don't know if you saw that. Jerry Jones was interviewed and saying he is looking to start negotiations, essentially. Like, not word for word, but he is planning to speak to Pickens and speak to Mulgeta and try and keep him in Dallas. That's the plan.
And he got roasted at the Hall of Fame.
That he did. Yeah,
that was quite funny.
It
related. It related to Micah Parsons too. So,
and Micah approved it.
Yeah, it was funny, and Jerry did not look happy.
No, Jerry was laughing. I mean, in fairness, Jerry does have what do you call it, thick skin.
Definitely,
especially for a joke. Yeah, you can see the funny side of it for sure, but not in a non-funny side though. When it comes to awards and ceremonies and stuff like that, there was also the Hall of Fame entries for this year. Obviously, Charles Woodson and Jason Witten were part of the final nominees, and unfortunately, they didn't get selected. They were snubbed for the Hall of Fame this year. Again. Well, Woodson again, but this is the first one for Jason Witten.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of it, Mike. I mean, what else does Charles Woodson need to do? Because, it's my personal opinion, Woodson redefined that position.
Yeah, I mean, he evolved it to
he evolved it to what it is now in today's game.
Yeah.
So,
and then you think, you look at the sort of criteria that they talk about, which makes me laugh because they don't even follow that. But you look at the things that they say, and you're like, everything you just said relates to Woodson. And then this is where I have problem. It was in the past, and I'm going back 15 years ago, they were just chucking anyone in the Hall of Fame. It made no sense to me. You're like, you're putting in this offensive lineman into the Hall of Fame? What? And then they don't put Woodson in. And so the whole thing of the Hall of Fame, I get it. He's a Hall of Fame player, and there's a very proud moment for those players. I'm not taking that away. But it just seems to be that they're going down this road again where there's this lack of inconsistency on what qualifies you to be in the Hall of Fame. And that's where I lose patience with it.
I mean, don't forget the whole Hall of Fame crap where it came to Drew Pearson.
Yeah, I know. That went on for far too long.
Like, he should have been in the Hall of Fame decades ago.
Oh,
decades.
Yeah.
And the fact that he only just recently, maybe like 2-3 years ago, he finally got into the Hall of Fame. and he was like the only offensive player of that all-star team in the 70s that was not selected.
And it made no sense.
And now we've got like Woodson, who, if you look up his resume, like he's just he's one of the best to ever do it. He really is, and he's just not in the Hall of Fame. Where you've got guys like,
Luke Kuechly.
And
I'm not saying that Kuechly doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame, but are you telling me he belongs in the Hall of Fame over Woodson?
No, he doesn't. And I'm not trying to be bitter. I'm
just being objective.
We're being objective. We're trying to be logical in the thinking behind this, and it just makes no sense.
Because I'd be the same if it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm saying, say Kuechly had the resume of Woodson, and Woodson's just coming through and he's retired and he has that resume, and then he gets in before, I'd be saying the same thing. I'd be like, this is confusing. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, man. But so obviously we've had the awards that fell short for Comeback Player of the Year, which was awarded to Christian McCaffrey, I believe it was. But yeah, it's no awards for the Cowboys in that regard. But I mean, but we do have one more game ahead of us, Mike, and there is a lot of Dallas Cowboys connections into this football game, which is more towards the Seattle Seahawks, obviously, with DeMarcus Lawrence, former Dallas Cowboy player, Aiden Durde, former defensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, and also, even though he's never played for the Cowboys, but he wears the star on him every single day of his life now, and that's Jackson Smith-Njigba, who has a Dallas Cowboys tattoo on his arm with the state silhouette also above him. So that's what I'm rooting for, the Seahawks running into this game. But I mean, I don't know, but obviously you're rooting for the Seahawks as well. We want DeMarcus to get that Super Bowl ring.
I really do. Yeah, that's what it is more than anything.
Yeah, and it would be like from just a more football fan point of view, it'd be really nice to see Sam Darnold to overcome what he's went through to actually win it as well. Like, because he's played fantastic football this year, Sam Darnold. A lot of people who wrote him off, us included, and it'd be nice for him to kind of see, now I'm definitely deemed of that first round draft pick that I was drafted all those years ago, and now I've proved it. But it goes back to my point all the time, Mike. It doesn't matter where you get drafted. Well, no, sorry, it does matter. It does matter where you get drafted. Because if you're and this is the point I'm trying to make. When you look at this upcoming draft, which we're going to go into, you look at players like Mendoza, right? He's likely going to get drafted by the Raiders. It's a fact. He's likely going to be there. Is he going to be a success in Las Vegas? I'm not willing to put my money on it, but give it 4 years' time, and if he was to become a free agent, he will go to another team that might have a system more purpose-built the way of his style of play, and you might actually see him ball out. We've seen this time and time again with other quarterbacks, like Baker Mayfield going to Tampa Bay now, and obviously Sam Darnold now with Seattle. We've seen it with other Jared Goff, even though he was okay in the Rams, but he went into an even better situation with the Lions. And I'm trying to think of one other example, but I did have it in my mind, but I can't think of it right now. But you get the point, and it's the same, not just with quarterbacks, but it's the same with any other position. You could be an offensive lineman, for example, but it depends on the coach who is trying to teach you. You might not have that chemistry. You might not have that bond when you click to the team that you just get drafted. But you tend to see a bit more success of other players kind of going to the team because of a certain coach in that regard. And this is what's kind of interesting to me. And I'm kind of looping it back to our defensive coaching hires right now, Mike. So I'm doing a little full circle moment.
A loopity-loop.
Yep, a loopity-loop. Because one of the ones that does kind of stand out is the Georgia linebacker coach, which is Chideria Ozo-Daribe, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting to see with his Georgia ties and looking at free agency. And there was some, and I'm being very speculative. I'm just saying this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm being very speculative right now. There is a couple of free agents who are former Georgia Bulldogs going to be available, and one of them is actually Nakobe Dean.
I quite like Nakobe Dean. I mean, like, the shelf life is going to be short on Dean because of the injuries.
That's true, but he would know the expectation, possibly knowing coming from a fellow Georgia, like alumni or coach, etc. But the mindset is the mindset more than anything.
Yeah, I think what it is more than me with Uzo is more when you look at Georgia in the last couple of years. Look at the linebackers that have come out of there. I mean, it's just been a linebacker conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, defensive line as well. But, you know, they have been churning those guys out. So, obviously, there's something going right there. That A, he's instilled in the linebackers, and B, has learned from experience to get those Georgia linebackers to do what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, yeah, I get the tie, but for me, it's more what you can bring because the linebacker position for the Cowboys is in serious need of tuning. And I think that's a type of guy who's got the resume to do it.
Yeah, totally, man. But there was another interesting one when I was looking at the 250 best available players for like going into the free agency market. One player kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and this player did want to leave his current team last year massively, and I think he would be an easy switch, easy to get him on the dotted line at a very good affordable price, and that is Quentin Williams' brother, Quincy Williams.
Yes, yeah, we spoke about him. Funnily enough, we have in the past, and we did like that guy. I mean, it depends how much they're willing to spend. Jerry has turned around and said, I know we were going to sell the boat last year, but he's like, this year, we're definitely doing that. We're going, like, basically selling our budget out for this season. Be interesting to see what that means and how that looks on the roster.
Does that mean the likes of Trey Hendrickson coming on? Because, like, I mean, I know there's that whole speculation and rumors with Max Crosby. I know we talked about this yesterday on UK Cowboys Fans. I mean, from a financial standpoint, a trade value standpoint, I just do not see the whole Max Crosby trade ever happening. I really don't. I just don't, especially knowing we do not have any day two picks. We have a lot of holes in our defense just to accommodate one player who is 28 years old. Yeah, he's going into his prime, but we can't take on that contract and give up that draft capital. We can't. We just can't do it.
It is true. It also depends what their draft plan is. Like they're going to have a plan going into the draft, and that will then slot into what they do at free agency.
Exactly. It depends how well we recruit during free agency. That's going to be I would say at this moment in time, free agency is more important than like what we're doing in the draft right now, because we need to build up the base build of this new defense, essentially with veterans coming into the fold to help the likes of Overshawn, to help the likes of our guys on the defensive line, help likes of Izaraku. Do we bring back Clowney? Like all these different questions, but it's another time for another show on the World's Team to discuss that 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because we're going to be covering everything when it comes to free agency, everything when it comes to the draft, and like I said, we're going to be doing some player profiles on certain players you want to watch out for the draft, ones you may have never heard of, ones you're very aware of. We're going to be on it. But I know we kind of talked about the Super Bowl, but we haven't given our score predictions yet, Mike.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So finally, from the World's Team, Paul Stewart, have got the Seattle Seahawks winning the Super Bowl 27-24. to 22.
We're not far off. I got 31-21 to the Seahawks.
Okay. Yeah, because funny enough, when we were looking back at the UK Cowboys fans score predictions, a lot of people were saying 34-10 Seahawks. Like, and I have seen a few people saying it may be more like a 3-point score game going towards the side of the Patriots. But this game is going to be really fun to watch on the defensive side of the ball.
On the defense, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to start off slow, and people will be like, and then what will happen is they will get momentum, and then that will drive both offenses either side, and then so it'll be a late bloomer of a game, I feel.
Totally. All right. Do you have a would you rather this week, Mike?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, there we go, folks. It's time for Mike's would you rather.
Okay, so I'm not going to do pick number 12 because that's way too important right now. We will get to a would you rather on pick number 12. I'm moving things slightly down the board to pick number 20.
Okay.
So you're at pick 20. Do you trade down or do you take who is available on the board, both linebackers, CJ Allen? No, let's just stick with CJ. CJ Allen's available on the board. So would you trade?
Is it not CJ Parker?
No, the linebacker from Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So you've got him. I could let me get my list up of my players. So you got CJ. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Available to you at pick 20, and you're thinking linebacker at this stage because they've gone either cornerback or edge at pick 12. Okay, and they get to pick 20, and CJ Allen and Anthony Hill Jr., the linebacker from Texas, are both available. So would you trade down to get yourself another pick, or would you take one of those players and stay at 20?
I would trade back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I might be controversial, but I have other linebackers above them. I do.
Who are your linebackers above Allen and Hill then?
Well,
You got Jacob Rodriguez.
1,000%. To be
okay. Because
wait. So I'm on the same train as our good friend Zach Wilchuk. I have him as the second best linebacker in this draft. Yeah, it might not be the fastest, but it's the mental part. It's
between the ears.
It's pre-snap notion. It knows where the ball's going.
Okay.
Like take away the athleticism side. He's not, like I say, he's not the fastest guy. Whatever not, but
he's not going to chase.
But awareness is fundamental.
Okay, I'm going to change my would you rather. At pick number 20, Anthony Hill Jr. and Jacob Rodriguez are available. Do you trade back or take one of those players?
I would take Rodriguez.
So that changes it. Okay.
I would. Like, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I wouldn't pick Rodriguez at pick 20. I was as well. It kind of goes back to my point. It's like, well, no one expected the Detroit Lions to pick Jahmyr Gibbs and the linebacker. I can't even remember his name now, but who basically had a second and third round grade. And look, well, how that turned out. Turned out brilliant for the Lions. Like, remember when we drafted Travis Frederick, who was like a third round grade? We drafted him in the first round. Look how that turned out. Just shows.
Yeah. All right. No, that's fine.
It's subjective. I mean, I would do it, but other people would definitely won't because they'll.
Yeah, it's where your heart is.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people will have Anthony Hill Jr. more rated higher. I know they will have CJ Allen rated a bit higher. People might actually have like the other linebackers from Ohio State, Sonny Styles. Like if he's there at 20, then I mean if Styles is there, then I would say, well, I probably would pull the trigger at 20 if Styles was there. I probably would, but I mean, again, it's very legit. I mean, as long as for me though, mate, as long as we're addressing the positions of need, I honestly trust the process. Like the team will obviously have their favorites. Like they may have a different order in terms of us and different from all the other NFL analysts out there. They may actually have such and such as the number one linebacker, such and such as the number one edge rusher, etc. Like end of the day, they're the ones that's doing the due diligence. They're the ones that's interviewing the players, assessing them from every aspect, from their athleticism, to really do like an actual report on these players. And that's the whole point of scouting. So, and I mean, who are we to judge? But as long as we're addressing the positions, I'll be happy at this point. Because how many times have we been excited for a draft player like we wanted has been drafted and it never turned out to what we expected?
Yeah. Remember Neville Gallimore?
Yeah, sadly, yes.
Yeah. Loving that pick, but just didn't come off.
Jabril Cox as well.
Yeah. I mean, Jabril Cox is a slightly different one because it was there, but the injuries were just too much.
Yeah, that's it. And, well, I know a few people were happy about the Mazi Smith draft pick. I know they were happy.
I liked the Mazi. I did, because I liked what they were trying to do.
I liked it at the time, but it just never worked out. It never worked out. So,
I think that was more of a player situation than it was talent. Like, you hear of things, plus with Mazi, 3 different defensive coordinators, 3 different schemes, 3 different ideas on how to do.
We've talked way too much about it, mate. Everyone knows how we feel about it. Everyone knows. So yeah. But you get the point. I mean, if we were to say we were to draft like Rodriguez, I'd be happy. A few other people wouldn't be happy because why are we drafting someone that a lot of people have rated them as a 3rd rounder or 2nd rounder and but it's still a position of need. Who are we to judge the guys that are actually assessing the players like in person? Etc. So that's my point. So I mean, I'd be happy from watching from what I've seen in game film. I think bringing the likes of Rodriguez, and if we were to get if we were going to this 3-4 defense, we probably will have to go double dip at linebacker. Also, we would need a linebacker that would actually.
You do need more linebackers, yeah.
Yeah, we would need a linebacker that can actually disrupt by blitzing in the A gaps, to help with the defensive line, and also we need one that can actually help back drop in coverage, which comes back to my guy Rodriguez, which I think is really good, which can actually take the pressure off the secondary.
Yeah, that's what you need to do, because secondary needs help too.
Yep. So if our front 7 can help accommodate one of the other weak areas in our defense to kind of bring them up to speed a bit better in that way, great. Sign me all up. But there we have it, folks. That's the latest episode of the World's Team. Like I said, the Dallas Cowboys are coming to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And obviously we've got the Super Bowl coming on Sunday. I hope you guys are going to enjoy watching it. Also, we just kind of mentioned that obviously Charles Woodson and Jason Witten did not make it to the Hall of Fame. Surprise, surprise. And obviously, as we mentioned, we talked about all our new defensive hires. So, but be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. We appreciate you all, as always, coming on and joining us, watching the World's Team podcast, wherever you are across the world, from all over parts of Cowboys Nation. But before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
You can find me on Twitter or X at Kenfig Cowboy. That's Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. P.
You can find me at IamPStew on X and Instagram. All right, folks, it is Super Bowl weekend. We hope you have a great time after the game. It's full off-season mode, baby. It's all go. But as always, at the World's Team, it's not just America's team. It is the World's Team, especially for Brazil. Hope you guys have a good one. I will see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on BLEAV, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?